welcome back to Monday Morning Mojo with me, Anna Gibbs. I'm so happy you're here, and I really love that we get to spend this time together week after week. And thanks so much for showing up for yourself, because there are a lot of things you could be doing. I know that, and you spend this time with me every week because you're willing to invest in yourself. And I just want to say good for you, because you are the greatest project you could ever work on. And I am really excited to talk to you about our topic today. And it's about reflection. I want to talk about the power of reflection. And what that means is that you're going to give yourself time, even just 15 minutes a day, to really sit and get grounded and centered in what's happening in your life. And we're going to talk about through the lens of journaling. And, I've talked a lot about journaling here on Mojo before. And I will be honest with you, I've kept a journal for off and on for years, for a very, very long time. I have notebooks full of entries of my writing. And I will tell you this, I don't necessarily journal every single day, but I do journal a lot and very often. And for me, I have found it to be very cathartic. I think that journaling, first of all, I don't want you to feel intimidated by the idea of journaling. Some people feel overwhelmed when they hear that because they think that they have to do it every day and it has to be pages of notes, and it doesn't. But I think journaling gives you an opportunity to process your thoughts, your feelings, and, really, I think, express yourself in a way that may not always be possible during the day. And I've had a lot of people ask me too over the years, is it like keeping a diary? I mean, it could be. It depends on how you're feeling and what you want to write about or talk about. Because the other thing I want you to understand too is that for me, keeping a journal is the old-fashioned pen and a notebook. That's how I like to journal. I like to write. There's something that happens for me as I start to connect the pen to the paper. I feel like I just download information. But you can keep an online journal. You could start a Google Doc. You could even use an app or your phone and dictate. You could use a voice recorder and journal that way. It really doesn't matter. I think the key is that it's a container for your thoughts. It's a container for you to put down and express what's happening, process what's happening. It's a great way to record what's going on in your life. I've looked back on journal entries from years ago, and it's always fascinating to see who I was at that time, what I was thinking, what I was experiencing. And I'll tell you, sometimes, even the things I was concerned or fearful of, realized that it never even transpired. And maybe just being able to write it in my journal that day, I was able to get it out of my system, and actually it helped me to process. So there's a lot of research on the value of journaling, and science supports it, because I think when you slow down and allow yourself to take a deep breath, sit with your emotions, find reasons for gratitude, and look squarely at some of the choices you've made, you can't help but feel clearer and calmer. And God knows that the world around us is not getting any quieter. I think it's up to us to figure out how to create that quiet space. And the world is moving quickly. Technology is changing. There's all kinds of world events happening around us. There's information all over. I mean, I don't have to explain to you how noisy your life might feel on some days. And so if you could make a ritual, if you could create a habit around spending a few minutes with yourself to download some of your thoughts, to capture some of your experiences, I can't even begin to tell you all the wonderful things that can come from that. Because I have found that as I journal, I become more creative. Again, science has backed that too. And I'll tell you, I have a new book coming out, which I'm very excited about, my first book. It's going to be released in summer of 26. And really, it began in my journal entries. I was, writing down things that I was experiencing in my life. And that actually became the seeds of this book. When you start to document things happening in your life, you can recognize patterns, and you can see things that maybe are not as clear to you in your thoughts. But when you see it documented in some way, suddenly it comes off the page. And so for me, it resulted in publishing my first book, which I'm thrilled about, because I feel very deeply that this book is going to help literally, I think, millions of people. And so we'll talk more about that later, but I want to get back to this idea of inspiring you to create some time every day, actually every night specifically. That's what I want to encourage you to do, is to use this as a nightly ritual, this time for reflection. And I think the beauty of a nightly journal is that it can be quick, because I'm going to give you the framework right now where you can have some very simple and direct questions, the same questions every night that you're going to ask about your day. And it's a process of reflection. And I think that within 15 minutes, you would be able to download a lot of great things that are going on in your world. And over time, I can only imagine what that's going to reveal to you about opportunity, again, about patterns, about things that you want to do, things you might need. And so I feel that these 5 questions that I'm going to give you in this framework could really create a lot of structure for you. And listen, you get to decide how and when you want to do this. My recommendation is you do this towards the end of your evening, when you can really sort of unwind. Maybe you're going to make yourself a cup of tea, or, whatever you like, and find a quiet place. I mean, if you could find a quiet place, maybe even light a candle and just really, dial down from the day. And if you can use this as a nightly debrief with no pressure, there's no need for this to be perfect. You don't have to share it with anybody, but it is a great way for you to build this habit around reflection. I'm going to give you 4 questions, and then we'll give you a 5th item to think about. And it's simple. This is a really, really simple process. And we're going to have this for you in a beautiful worksheet that you can download so that you can start this right away tonight. And I really hope that you love this and make this part of your nightly ritual. So here are the questions that you're going to ask yourself at the end of the day. Number 1, what am I grateful for today? What a beautiful and simple question to get started with, right? What am I grateful for today? This question is important because we know that gratitude and expressing gratitude is one of the most energetic things that we can do for ourselves, because when we are in that state of gratitude, we are vibrating at such a high level. Gratitude immediately starts to dial down our nervous system. It starts to increase our feelings of joy, our feelings of contentment. And I think when you become aware of the things around you and the things in your life that are positive and meaningful and that create significance, and you can express gratitude for that, it starts to condition your brain to look for more of it. And that is why I want to give you that as your first question. Simply ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? And it could be anything. It could be the fact that you have new sheets on your bed, right? Clean, fresh sheets. It could be that you have this new job opportunity. It could be something that feels really big. It could be something that feels just small but really warm. So whatever it is, it could be the love of your family. It could be the conversation you have with your best friend. It could be the fact that you got home on time for dinner. Whatever it is, what are you grateful for today? The second question, what do I know for sure? Now, this is a little bit more philosophical. You can take this question in any direction that you'd like, especially wherever it feels natural. Because again, I don't want you to overthink this. I don't want you to overcomplicate it. But when you ask yourself, what do I know for sure, based on the day, it might be a truth that you see about yourself, or about your health, or about your boundaries. It could be a truth that you know about your spirituality, the world around you, your business, whatever it is, a truth around your relationships. What do you know for sure? And whatever comes to mind is perfect. I think when you have the time to reflect and you connect with these questions, something's going to pop up pretty quickly. So just go with it and write it down. Number 3, what impact did I have today? And I love this question because I think, again, this is going to raise your vibrational awareness to the fact that you have the ability to make an impact in the spaces you occupy, in the people around you? How do you want to show up in a way that helps people, that is significant, that is leaving something positive, that, maybe it's even the way you spoke to the barista at the coffee shop this morning that left an impact on them, right? So I think that, again, this is one of those questions. On some days, it's going to feel really big and expansive. And on other days, it might be something simple, yet that's okay because impact can run very deep. So what impact did you have today? Number 4, what is my intention for tomorrow? So I love this because now we get to think a little bit about planning our day the next day. So maybe your intention is going to come from all the things you experienced today. Maybe it's a fresh new thought around intention and what you want that day to look like. And so I'm going to give you a couple of ideas around intention so that you can really decide where your intention needs to be rooted. And I'm going to just share a few words with you that might inspire you. And we'll have this in the worksheet as well. So what are some words that might inspire your intentions? Here are a few, and there'll be more on the worksheet. Abundance, compassion, perspective, possibility, empowerment, change, clarity, right? So, and again, we'll have a complete list for you on this download, but where do you want to set your intention for the next day? How do you want to show up? How do you want to be in alignment with that intention in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your actions, in terms of the impact you want to make? That if you start to set your intention for tomorrow, you'll see how that plants the seeds for the things that you'll reflect on the next day around what you're grateful for and what you know for sure and what impact you had. It starts to become this beautiful way to flow from one day to the next. And then finally, I told you I would give you a 5th question, something to think about. And that's this. What got me closer to my goal? Yeah, we have to tie it back to the goals, guys, because I think no matter who we are, what we're doing, there's something that we're looking to accomplish all the time. And so the question is, what got me closer to my goal and what distracted me from my goal? Because that is the way that you can check in with yourself and really, I guess, do a reality check. Because, again, no 2 days are quite the same. And you're going to have some days when you feel like you were really clear and really on task, and you made a lot of action steps and bridged the gap between your goal and your intentions. And then there are going to be other days when you felt like you did a lot. Maybe you were busy, but not as productive. So it's just an honest question that we can ask ourselves at the end of the night, really. And I think it can give us something to think about. But again, I want to say you're going to ask this question. You're going to answer it with honesty. What got you closer to your goal and or what distracted you from it? And in being honest with yourself, you're going to find some answers or some solutions to implement for tomorrow. And you're also going to do that without judgment. You're going to do that without putting any unnecessary pressure on yourself. You're just going to be honest, and you're going to make a decision about what needs to change tomorrow. And that's it. This is my simple framework that I wanted to share with you, that I think for anyone who, whether you've journaled before or not, this can be a great way for you to download information from your day and for you to be able to process it in a way that is meaningful and that creates impact for how you want to start the next day. And if you can do this each day, 7 days a week, where could you be in 30 days? In other words, how could this start to shape the way you think and the way you behave, the way you connect with people, the results that you're getting? Could you find yourself getting clearer? Could you find yourself getting more confident? Could you find yourself starting to see the patterns that maybe were not as visible to you before, where you can make some adjustments and you can see yourself now pivoting and growing and really closing those gaps? And if nothing else, just feeling that release and celebrating some of the positive things that happened for you that day. So that's it. That's the simple way that you can start journaling. And, if this is new for you, I hope that this guided journaling is going to make it easy for you. And also, like I said earlier, create some ritual around it. find a nice spot that can be your spot and go to that spot every evening for 15 minutes to work on these questions. Pour the glass of wine or make the cup of tea, whatever works for you, and just really spend some quiet time connecting with yourself. And if you start to see how this is going to help you, share this idea with a friend, share the download, share this episode. You might even want to do that right now while you're thinking of it. Maybe you even want to do this with a friend where you can make a pact and sort of hold yourselves accountable to it. And that each night you both text each other and share the fact that you did your journaling for the evening. So yeah, I think it's something that, can be really, really cathartic and really helpful in terms of your own productivity and in terms of even just dialing down the nervous system at the end of the day. And for those of you who want to or who have an interest in really getting into some deeper work on your personal growth and development, and you could see how working through some guided questioning can help reveal things around your leadership or help you think differently about yourself and how you perceive yourself. Perhaps you have some ideas around your own identity or where you want your life to go. I have another tool for you, and that is the Best Life Journal that I've written. And that journal is really thoughtfully organized into 8 theme sections, and you can open it to exactly what you need whenever you need it. And that journal could take you through the next 365 days easily. And some of those sections include mindset and inner dialogue, purpose, identity work, vision, goals, leadership, influence, energy, boundaries, self-care. I have a section on productivity, relationships, communication. So that is a much more expanded tool. And you'll find that there's over 100 pages in that journal with lots and lots of questions. And the thing that I love about the Best Life Journal, the way that I designed it, is that you can open it and jump into any section you want at any time based on what's going on in your world. And I have curated some of my best questions in there for you. And so if you know you're in a season of growth, change, or transition, if you're looking for more clarity, if you want to live with more intention, then I would encourage you to purchase this journal. We'll have a link for it in the show notes. And I created it because I know, again, over the years, when I have taken the time to journal, it has helped me be more creative. It has helped me really stand firmly in my clarity. And I wanted to give you a tool that could do the same. And for a limited time, this journal is only $9.95. So you should grab yourself a copy because I think that you'll find that it's going to really help you tremendously. So we'll have a link to that in the show notes too. All right, well, listen, I'm excited for you. I think this is a great way for us to end our day with a little time for reflection, intention, to get into our thoughts, for us to be able to, really download and process some of the things that happened during the day and have that moment to reflect. So I wish you a wonderful and beautiful day. And I look forward to hearing more from you about this journaling exercise and this journey that you might be on to really discover more, I think, elements of your best self. So thanks again for being here. I'm going to see you in the next episode. And until then, be well.